Because I defended, his coaching and the decisions and all that stuff. And it turned out to be the best thing that's happened for our radio station to some degree, because Brian's now a partner with us, and he couldn't have been if he's still the coach. And over the last 6 or 7 months, we really talked a lot about what we want to do. And maybe, Brian, you could go into some details about your background in media, journalism, and all that stuff. And why are you doing this? I guess that would be the #1 question.
It was interesting. Don't say fired to a coach, okay?
What's the word you want?
They've gone in another direction.
Gone in another direction.
And if you use that word again, you're going to be going in another direction. I love being in partnership.
I hate partnerships.
No.
I've always hated partnerships.
We made it very clear, my wife and I did, that even before leaving the Ravens, that this is our home. We've been here for 9 years. My daughters have grown and gone. This is what they think of home, and regardless of what I do going forward, I'm going to be doing games for Fox this year. Who knows, what next year brings. But this is going to be our home, and it was very important to me as we approached it. It was, okay, what does that mean? Well, first and foremost, it means you've got to be involved. Many of you know my involvement with the Living Classroom Foundation. That's been enhanced as well because I have the time now to work a little more in detail with James Bond and Parker Rockefeller over the Living Classrooms and some of the exciting things we're doing there. But I wanted to also make sure that I kept in touch and connected with the Baltimore community. And as I looked at it, and this, I don't mean this as disrespectfully in any way, but when you look at the other media outlets, the thing that made me excited about this is they are corporate owned, which is great, but they're not from here. And the way they go about business is the way you're supposed to go out in business when you're corporate owned. And you run the same model that you do here, that you do in Phoenix, that you do in San Francisco, that you do in Chicago and Memphis. This is Baltimore owned, and this is home. And we're going to run the station and the net as Baltimore's. And what I mean by that is, and I love what Nestor calls this in terms of an online sports community, because that's exactly what it is. Rather than working from the top down, we're going to work from the bottom up. We're going to be out in places like this. We're going to be in touch with you all. In today's flattened world, you can do that. 10 years ago, we couldn't have done that. You're limited by the broadcast signal that you have, or the distribution you might have in the written media. But with the internet, it's limitless. It's the great equalizer. And the great thing by going from the bottom up, by being grassroots, is we can be what you want us to be. We can be as much or as little. We can have, this can become your station. And Nestor's has some great ideas about certainly the Ravens, the Terps, the Oils. Those are going to be anchors like a mall. But the boutiques that are in between, women's field hockey. My daughter plays field hockey at Ohio State. Lacrosse, swimming, anything that interests the community, we're going to have some interaction with, and we're going to have direct feedback from you by the internet, like no other medium can, that's going to tell us what do you want, and how do you want it, and how do you want to interact with it. This really can become a forum, and that's what I'm most excited about, is being a part of that. I'm like everybody else. You're going to get the facts somewhere. Who threw to who ran the ball, who won, who lost. Everything beyond that, including me, including us, including BAL, including JFK, including the Baltimore Sun, everything from that point on is opinion. Well, if you haven't noticed in the last 9 years, I've got some opinions. And I love this game. I'm looking forward to doing the game with Fox. I start with the Tampa Bay New Orleans game. Today I spent the afternoon on the phone with people like Sean Payton, Drew Brees, Will Smith, Derek Brooks from Tampa Bay, Jeff Garcia, in a way that when I was coaching you really couldn't do. And I love that. I love that interaction. I love, I'm a fan like you at heart. And some of those observations I'm going to lend to the website, and that's what we're going to be based on. So the idea is that this is your website. This is something that's going to grow. It's going to be a work in progress to a certain degree, but I'm excited about it being Baltimore through and through.